Hello and welcome everyone to Frontline Gaming. I'm Hail Monkey Man and I'm here to welcome you tonight to our $30 3v3 Thursday night throwdown, and I am joined by none other than one of our newest casters on the block, Moonji. Moonji, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be out here and to be casting a Thursday 3v3. How are you doing, man?
We're doing fantastic, and we're just getting ready to get some semifinal action in. We're going to have to apparently restart our server. We had a little bit of an early join, so we're going to just do that real quick here in just a moment. But it's been some fantastic, like, just high-flying, octane, just, I don't know, every word you could throw at it for how intense the competition has been tonight. Oh, sorry about that. It's going to be just a moment to be able to reset everything. Of course, behind the scenes, everything goes awry. But you know what? It can't always go right all the time, every single place. So, Moonji, how have you been tonight, man?
I've been doing good. Just been spectating around the community, working on personal things like school and things like that. But I've been monitoring what's been going on in the minor esports community, and I'm really excited to see all the talent that's going to be brought to us tonight.
Yeah, right now we're actually about to see Lights Out versus a team called No Helmet. I think that they kind of made that one up on the spot. So it has a fun little icon too that apparently I cannot replicate because it is it's like a blue little helmet that's like an emoji that I don't know how they did it, but it was really cool. But so No Helmet, I think is comprised of Shadow. Dang it, I need to get into the game so I can see everyone in there. Of course, everyone knows Lights Out at this point. They've got Kepper, they've got AJ, and they got their boy Vandry. And so we've remade the lobby. We've gotten back in. So if everyone that is involved can get back involved so we can get in there and get going, it's going to be good to go. These guys have fought their way through Lights Out, and they only dropped one single game to this point. And so they're looking just as on the ball as they have been for the rest of the entirety of their participation in these FLG events. It's D-Bank, Shadow, and Slushy. Those are the guys that you're going to have on No Helmet. And I've seen those names before, just as prolific as majority of our high-end, entertainers on these teams. Have you actually seen some of these guys play before? I know you know Lights Out.
Yeah, I definitely know Lights Out with Kepper and AJ, but I'm not familiar with the other team, unfortunately. I wish I knew more about them.
Gotcha. Well, we're about to learn a whole lot more as we're getting down to the field. We are starting off in DFH Stadium. Let's see if these guys can work their way through this best of 5 for this tournament tonight. Vandry starting off with possession as he gives it over to Kepper. Kepper working to the corner. D-Bank. A couple missed touches. Oh, a nice play up by Vandry to the ceiling. Kepper is going to have to play it backwards. He is a little bit off on his rotation, but a nice challenge and a good delay by AJ. Forces No Helmet to take the play away. What do you think we're going to see majoritively from Lights Out? Is it just going to be shooting all the time? They are an offensive force that many find trouble stopping. But how would you take it to them if you were this other team?
I feel like they go for a lot of passing plays, so you definitely have to lock down the midfield chain, and in order to do that, there's always got to be a man sort of out of rotation, but who's available to stop the passes from happening before they go on, because once you have that 70-mile-per-hour bullet flying at your net, it's very hard to save that, and it's even harder to clear it out of the way of danger. Very
true. Vandry trying to set up with a shot over to Kepper, but no, AJ actually takes it away. Here's working against Slushy, who now have possession in the midfield, dribbling it to D-Bank. What a shot, but what a stop over into the crossbar. Slushy trying to center it up again. D-Bank is going to have to push it back into his own side to delay the counterattack. Slushy taking out Vandry. It is now a one-man back into the midfield. Kepper, extra offensive approach here. We'll go across the net. He's going to roll back to some boost. Give Vandry a turn at it. No, AJ serving it back over to him. A nice half rotation. He's going to keep this offense at least pulling No Helmet out of their own side, but now giving them territory control of the midfield. But for all of a second, Kepper going for the shot right in front of Slushy's face. Vandry gonna look for a dunk, and it is again denied. This one a slow bouncer, and it will work its way past Lights Out, going up first.
Yeah, so what you were saying there with the pelting shots coming out from Lights Out, definitely correct here, because we had just a barrage of shots. Even if they were missed or blocked, we had Lights Out continuously putting on pressure on the ball, and it only just finished with AJ catching the defender off guard with no boost.
It looks like they were kind of baiting him, right? They were like the half rotation backwards for that pass. They were trying to work it to each other, but they drew the blue defense upfield, and that's really what slowly worked them away from the net. But that last play ended up just kind of being an individual effort that No Helmet finally broke on that defense from the post.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially with the double commit that happened early into that play from No Helmet. If they were able to conserve their boost and realize when they are actual shots with potential to be goals, or if they're just baits in order to catch defenders off guard and push rotations farther, then they'll be able to play more defensively and defend their net better and not let goals like that happen.
Vandry getting shut down by Slushy, and now it's going to be D-Bank's turn to take a shot, at least to the midfield, and force defense to make a play. AJ popping it over Shadow. Shadow we've seen participate in quite a few of these tournaments now, and he's generally making it towards the finals. And this one, I believe Kempert couldn't catch up to it, and we'll be even at 1.
Yeah, just a one-on-one situation. Kempert not having the best positioning on his back line, and I'm not sure if he thought that was going in, but it feels like he backflipped off the side post, which is something you never really want to do as a defender back. So definitely could have positioned himself in a better area in order to save that goal and prevent a silly shot like that from going into his own net.
Yeah, he was coming off that post, and I think he thought he was going to be able to do a dodge roll upwards, but he ended up just kind of flying flat and away from his net, and just kind of gave the ball a nice, easy slide under the crossbar. Slushy is now going to take possession from this shooting lane and immediately get challenged. Oh my goodness, what a fast combo, and Kempert will get it right back.
Yeah, just no defensive awareness here from Noah Helmet, just carrying on the ball way too long and getting punished for it, because if you have possession of the ball for that long and you're not looking for someone who's going to challenge you, you're going to lose possession. And I feel like the last man back wasn't even aware of what was happening, and by the time he got control of his own car, the ball was already in the back of the net.
Goodness, Slushy, he's the last one on an island, 1v2 right now in his own half. No touches there, but it will be Slushy still trying to retain a Kempert with the pressure. AJ not elevated enough, but a nice 1-2-3 combo. Slushy still kind of left out in no man's land with absolutely no boost, stuck out in that midfield and just getting bumped away. AJ will take advantage of it, and they will be up by 2.
Yeah, Lights Out is just completely controlling the offensive pitch with I believe that was Vandry coming out of his own rotation in order to just bump the goalie and just be an absolute nuisance on the field. The only way to stop that from happening is to lock your rotation, and with Slushy being outside of his defensive rotation, that's going to cause a lot of problems for his team.
Yes, and then we have a question from the chat. Does Lights Out like their lights on or off? Well, I mean, they take them out, but they got to be on before they go lights out, right? So, I mean...
Yeah. I feel like the lights have to be on in order for them to, see where they're shooting to, mess up their opponents.
True. That's very true. All right, so we got to run up the electric bill before you can go full lights out. Kempert rolling back on defense as AJ's trying to get into D-Bank. D-Bank with the center up, and Shadow with the no touch. D-Bank now by himself. No, it will be Slushy coming up with oh, they are very, very lucky that no one benefited from that misplay on defense, but they are still down by 2, and we are 60 seconds left in this game 1. Again, this is a best of 5. These guys have been playing best of 3s up until this marker, and so this match will be an extended bit of play. But Lights Out looking to go as lights out as they can be, maybe a sweep, but we're still very early. It's game 1. They're up by 2, doing very well. Lots of dominating performance. Kempert trying to continue the forward play. D-Bank now going just a nose possession. This one will come back again. He'll be able to doink it away to the backboard. A shot coming. Both blue attackers are taken out. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure this one's just going to go in the way of Lights Out so far.
Yeah, definitely controlling the offensive side of the pitch. I feel like this game was pretty evenly matched, except for this few silly mistakes that led to goals. I don't think it was complete domination from Lights Out, but definitely offensive pressure was in their side, with them having a combined total of 10 shots versus No Helmet's 8 here. So they were definitely ahead in terms of offensive pressure, but the game wasn't completely one-sided, so I'm excited to see what the No Helmet team can do.
It's a thin margin of error, and that is all they need to be able to take game 1 in a blustering hurry. A wonderful amount. You did say 11 shots. We got 8 on over to No Helmet. Slushy carrying the burden of that load, but Vandry and AJ and Kepfert sharing it the whole way around. What does Helmet really have to do? They obviously they had those just minor mistakes on defense, and they kind of had to stay passive and on their heels for the majority of it. What can they do to really kind of catch up with Lights Out?
Well, locking down your defensive rotation is definitely something you want to prioritize, especially when the opposing team is one that is very high in shots. So making sure that you're always in the right place at the right time will allow you to make those hard saves very easy. But another thing they can do in order to stop the rotations of Lights Out, because that's what's allowing them to accumulate this many shots, is by putting on demos in the field. If you demo the person who's supposed to take the shot, they'll spawn back, and you create a situation where there are 2 people back and only 1 putting offensive pressure, which allows you to then rotate out of your defense and start an offense of your own. So definitely physical play is something that No Helmet could look into in order to beat Lights Out.
Well, they're going to be trying as best they can to get more physical and establish a better kind of regional area control, maybe zone control of the midfield, and already trying to win it out in the direct middle of the field. It'll be Slushy taking it off of Kepfert's face as he was trying to take advantage of it. Slushy now again. Vandry will just slap it down behind him. AJ going to the backboard. Nice backboard defense. Slushy's going to have to work from the midfield again to get some boost. And now it's Shadow waiting in the wings. No one from Lights Out able to take advantage from that center pass. And now a little bit of mind game. He had absolutely no boost, and so had to play the slow, long con. Kepfert with the shot. Pass over to Vandry. AJ with the demo immediately stymieing any kind of blue defense that comes out of No Helmet. But again, they were able to get a long clear. Kepfert slowing it down. It's going to go low corner. It will be D-banked, though. Going back out center. Every single time you see a center about to happen for No Helmet, there is already a Lights Out defender there to just intercept it, crisscross applesauce into their shooting lanes. Now Kepfert continuing the same on the opposite side of the pitch. No Helmet left on their heels, but it's still very even. They're still working it, and it's still going strong. We're going to get to see who's going to bend but not break, and maybe find a few cracks in the defense going forward.
Yeah, and they're definitely doing better with the back passes coming out, and solo plays like Slushy's right there, almost seeping into the back of the opposing team's net. But No Helmet is definitely picking up the rotation speed, and I think that's something that they weren't expecting definitely in the first match, is the speed of Lights Out rotations are very fast. There's always someone challenging the ball, but it wasn't the same at No Helmet, as an open net here is going to allow No Helmet to capitalize and put themselves first in the second game of the match.
We got to see when this happened. D-Bank with the I guess maybe the momentary backflip just drew out a no-touch from the opposite side of the field. That was a lack of rotation. I don't know. That was a little bit bewildering. There was no one behind him. He went for the touch and then just a complete lack of it. And then, they're just going to take advantage of mistakes. But you know what? It's mistakes that No Helmet is going to need to do and have from Lights Out to really keep up with them, because they were able to do so just barely, and then the mistakes from No Helmet in game 1 sent them behind. They're going to need to replicate the same effort. AJ waiting on D-Bank to do the same. Now D-Bank comes back around, trying to get it clear. Slushy waiting on Kepfert. And now it's been East Coast, West Coast, corner to corner. They are starting to slowly boost starve this No Helmet defense. Now they've been stuck in their corners for all of 30 seconds. Nice pinch outward. This one will bowling ball its way right back to the midfield, but they will resume the attack. Oh, another open net, but no. Quickly closing the door. AJ going back for boost. D-Bank take control into the shooting lane, but AJ coming back out to the middle of the field. 1 and 2, and maybe buckle my shoe. No, it will go back to Slushy again. They are continuing this assault to the backboard. Nice defense so far. AJ turning about. Slushy looking for a blind demo. He will get one onto Vandry. And then this is starting to pick up the pace. They are going much faster. AJ is trying to intercept. He's trying to match their speed. Vandry with the counterattack again. It's coming from the corner, going dead center. They're leaving 2 defenders back. Lights Out a little bit more apprehensive now of No Helmet, as they're starting to get Speedy Boy on them. Shadow, dead center. Slushy had abandoned ship on that play and instead went back on defense. Now back onto offense for Lights Out. It has been Lights Out for offense for them. They've not been able to score a goal yet. We are well beyond halftime. 140 left in game number 2. They're giving them all they can handle. What can do Lights Out do? That may just be this shot, but no. But what can they do to finally get a goal in this one?
Well, it's the opposite of what we saw in the first game. Just Noah Helmet is putting on the offensive pressure that's keeping it out the back of their own half. With Lights Out now having their first offensive break in the past probably minute, with No Helmet just controlling their own side of the pitch. So they have to get a good clear in order to push the ball out of their own half, but they also have to clear to someone who's open instead of just hitting it to no man's land.
And you got to think after, but this one nearly going in, the individual effort almost working for him. 1 minute left, 60 seconds on the clock. You got to think, whenever you drop a game and you go down 3-1 in game 1, and then you only have one goal to work from, and it was from all of a mistake, maybe you would slow down, you would try to play defensive and turtle up, but instead, No Helmet has gone the clear 180 on that, and they've decided, you know what, the best defense is a good offense, and they have been just getting in the face of Lights Out every step of the way. This one going to Shadow. Shadow with the shot. It goes over the 90 on the left side. Now they're kind of tackling each other for the same boost. This could be a miscue that they're going to have to quickly recover from, and they do. D-Bank right into Vandry. Vandry slow with possession. He does not get the boost, so it's going to be very, very short-lived as Slushy intercepts D-Bank over the net. It goes into the crossbar. AJ with the last effort to Kepper. Kepper slowing it down, giving it back to AJ. It goes crossbar again. Vandry is the last one back that can make a play. Will be the counter. It does not go in, but No Helmet solidifies the win.
Definitely showing offensive pressure and complete ownership of the field. No Helmet just peltering shots onto Lights Outside, completely owning the pitch here. So definitely putting what you said before, how offensive pressure is the best defense. Just keeping the ball out of their own half and peltering Lights Out with no shots. We see Lights Out's 3 shots over to No Helmet's, I believe that's, 9 shots. So they're just completely peltering their side of the field. Even if it didn't result in goals, the amount of offensive pressure that No Helmet continued to have over the course of this match just showed how if you continue peltering your opponent with shots, you necessarily don't have to play defense.
Yeah, you just put them back there. They have to take a nap under their own net because it's a barrage. It's a constant siege. And they had to sit there for the long haul. And by the time they got to go on offense, it was just too late, and the timer was already running out. And you can't put on much of a play at that point. But you know what? We're tying the series 1-1. That's exactly what No Helmet wanted to do after they, kind of got a light shellacking. And now the momentum is starting to build as they get an early goal.
Yeah, just a mistake here from Vandry playing the ball into his own corner and not looking at him being the last man back. With him playing the ball into his own corner right into the hands of Shadow LFT, Shadow, he just allowed for him to move up in the field and make an easy play that Slushy was able to capitalize on.
So why do you think it is? Because that being within 8 seconds of the first kickoff, it's definitely a kickoff phase type goal. Why is it the kickoff phase goals are so dangerous? What really makes them just happen? Whenever something happens, you're like, dang, it is because it was right off the kickoff.
It's definitely all about momentum. Even if the goal isn't the most monumentous goal, even if it's not beautiful or ceiling shot, just the feeling of scoring with such a little amount of time when usually in a normal pace of a game, the way to score in high-level games is to continuously putting offensive pressure. But to score by just having a goal with 8 seconds, no offensive pressure, and just getting a lucky shot in, it feels very demoralizing if you're a team who normally has control of the pitch. So coming down to 1 goal in the first 1 minute of the match is simply something that can stop your momentum and your ability to perform.
D-Bank with a very clutch defensive play there, as that was otherwise an open net. Had to stretch his arms all the way across the corner. This one, the back is open. Can AJ catch up? He does so. Puts it to the crossbar, and a second touch from Kevpert will keep this lead for No Helmet just at 1. 8 seconds in, they got that goal, and now we're nearly a minute and a half into game 2. And I'm starting to see a little bit of suffering from Lights Out on their defensive side. Rotations are leaving the back end open for these goals.
Definitely, if Shadow didn't even fake that, if he'd went for the shot there would have been no one home in order to save that. So you just have to ask the question, knocking on Lights Out door, where are you guys? Are the lights really on? Can you see? Because there is no one home for the defensive side in order to stop these plays from happening.
It's time to pay the power bill and a little bit of extra power right when we were talking about them. These kickoff goals, they can be lethal.
Yeah, tying up, not tying up the series here, but definitely getting more momentum on your side. You know, them being scoreless for an entire match and a quarter of this one is definitely something you don't want to be. So that goal could be huge for Lights Out in terms of momentum, not necessarily in terms of winning this match, but momentum is something that plays a key role in determining who will go forward in the next match.
I mean, it definitely keeps it stymies the bleeding, because as soon as you get too many goals, it just becomes kind of a waterfall. But right now, AJ is going to be setting up a high touch. It goes a little bit too fast, so Vandry is going to resume that, do the equal but opposite effort. Plays out to AJ, maybe Kevpert, who will take it from the middle, but Slushy, he finds the back zone. Nice defensive play as he kind of cuts the corner just between those two players. Now Vandry cannot slow it down, and it goes right around them. Shadow just big bodies it in and gets their lead back out by 2.
I mean, Vandry thinking he has all the time in the world for this touch, and out of nowhere comes Shadow, the same person who passed that play. Technically, he passed it to himself with the defender just being there to slow down the momentum. So definitely just Shadow coming out of nowhere and catching the defender off guard. Really unfortunate there, but a player who's that good can traverse the pitch extremely quickly with mechanical skill alone.
Oh, from the ceiling, dropping in. Oh man, they got to thank their lucky stars for old Ironsides and being able to stop that ball for him. Lights Out. They're gonna need to kind of regroup here, because no helmet has just. They don't need a helmet for the breakneck speed they're flying at. It is all shots all the time. Slushy. Oh, this one goes over Shadow, and now D-Bank is all alone. Will be able to catch up to it, but does not get a good clear touch. Him and Shadow having to work together. Finally get it past one defender. Kevpert forcing the issue. AJ looking up for a dunk. Vandry back up to the high corner. D-Bank with the clear. It's going to be Shadow upfield. Now Slushy with the chase. It goes back to the ceiling. It's going to keep the play alive. A couple of blue defenders or attackers actually looking for boosts. Be able to extend it. A big long play is a ping pong across the field. Trying to kind of vie for position. And now it will be once more no helmet winning that battle. Kevpert with the counterattack. Vandry is going to raise up to meet Shadow, but no, AJ in the midfield. Shadow winning every fight he goes against like a ninja in the dark, but he cannot get the kill shot just yet. Sorry about that. Yeah, nearly choked my own spit on that one.
Unfortunate there, but just the play that's happening right now is definitely not something that, if you're Lights Out, you don't want this. The back and forth boomers around the pitch are causing Lights Out. The time ticks down and they have no offensive pressure, and the rotation here falling apart for Lights Out as AJ makes a mechanical mistake and the ball flies into the back of his net.
I can't tell if Kevpert power slid into that position or if he actually got pit maneuvered, because his car, very, very flat car, but apparently it seems to be his style, kind of got like, I don't know, very jankily moved and then got stuck. It was like moving fast across. I think he was looking for a clear. All of a sudden, it looks like he got nicked. So that one, that was a whole slew of things, but definitely Lights Out. They're going to need to start picking up the speed, picking up the pace to match against no helmet. And now Vandry is trying to, I don't know, just build something for them to work with. But these boomers are taking them out of position, and again, we talk about the bleeding just commences, and they cannot stop these goals.
I mean, if you're Lights Out right now, kind of just want to take this game as it is, say, okay, we've gone down, how many goals? It doesn't really matter at this point. They need to focus on what they're going to do in order to go forward, because now they're going to be down 1 in the series. So in order to make that comeback in the best of 5, you know, and technically sweep their way all the way to a victory if they want to take it that far, they're going to have to mentally challenge themselves in order to not give up and just take the last 2 games with a grain of salt and say, sure, we made some mistakes, but it isn't the end. And that mentality is the only thing that's going to keep them alive in this series.
The best thing that we talk about when it comes to series play is that as long as it's not your last game, no matter how bad you lose one game, like it could be 5-1, it could be a full Brazil, it could be 20-1 or 20-0. It's just one game. So 30 seconds gone. It's gonna be really tough for Lights Out to be able to kind of make up for this one, and they will be going down the series, but they got time. Whereas no helmet is, they are like sharks with blood in the water. They can taste victory, and they will be one closer. As less than 15 seconds remain. A nice play there, but it was short of the post. Shadow going for a clear. Vandry over to Kevpert, and with a little bit of assistance from no helmet, they were able to get a nice kind of moral goal.
Right, and if No Helmet's not laughing this one off, this could actually be a momentum starter for Lights Out. If they don't take that as just kind of a joke with the misplays in the backfield, and they take that as a serious goal that they're angry about, definitely momentum for Lights Out. So mentality here, the mental game in Rocket League is definitely something you have to take in consideration, aside from the mechanical one. So being a strong player, both, you know, physically, I guess, and mentally is something that you have to consider when you're playing a game like this where the tides can turn in and out of your favor so quickly.
Oh, and trying to end it with a little bit of style. No Helmet almost getting one more for the Gipper at the very end, but they will kill it about right where the ball spawns, and they will take game number 3. And now they will go up 2-1 against Lights Out. Lights Out finding itself with his back against the wall. Gonna need to do a little bit of extra work to take it. Again, we see a massive shooting differential. They're almost being put in a box and shipped around just left and right inside of the latter third of their pitch. They just can't move away. And then No Helmet is just taking advantage of the high boomers. They are all over their backboard. It's going to be a rough one if they cannot take possession of the ball and start, you know, their own shooting gallery.
I agree, and if we take a look at the shots that were happening on No Helmet's team, the goals that were coming out, they had 5 goals and 5 assists. All of their goals were assisted in passing plays one another. There are no solo plays coming out from No Helmet here, so there's definitely a lot of team cohesion, which is something that they fixed from the first game. Their rotations seem to be a lot quicker, cleaner, and overall they're just playing as a more fluid team that we don't see from Lights Out.
Very true. All right, well, I'm gonna see if Vandry gonna be able to start off this Lights Out crew. A couple of extra touches to at least keep it into the blue, and No Helmet. Siding out, a little bit of territory control. Shadow over to the corner, D-Bank. Let him play with it. It's going to be AJ, though, that's going to force the issue. Vandry's already going for a shot. It will go high. He's probably going to want that one back, but it's going to be Kepworth that's going to regain speed and momentum on this play, and it's immediately shot back. D-Bank waiting on the low corner. AJ cracking it over before he can get a pass over into a player. It's going to be Slushy by himself over to the corner again. Continue to get these clears. Those midfield touches that Lights Out is very well known for. They always seem to be, at this point, doing them when a blue player is in the way. They have 2 players between them and their own waiting teammate for the pass, and it's just not making it to him. D-Bank out of his own corner. Kepworth. Oh, man. A little bit of a slow little ballet going on right there. So it's one of those weird kind of awkward situations where the ball had absolutely no momentum and no one can gain it. But now we're back out to the midfield. Vandry with a long clear. There's going to be backboard. It's going to be Vandry looking for it. He's actually going for the bump instead. Over the crossbar. 2 shots gone, and D-Bank looking for the clear. They continue to swat at it, and Kepworth will finally give Lights Out a goal.
Yeah, and mechanical misplay here coming off the back line from Shadow and Slushy. Just a miscommunication between the two causes a backfield bump that you really hate to see at this level of play. Miscommunication is definitely something that you don't want to happen in this high-level play, but it can happen if you're not transparent with your teammates.
Resume play. Back to Lights Out. They now are going to get the chance to hang on to a lead. But Shadow is already going to try and get one. Nice save from interior post. D-Bank works to some boost, and instead Lights Out is going to be once again on the counterattack. No Helmet. This is their chance to be able to take this series. They're down just a point, but they can take this series 3-1 if possible and be able to knock off Lights Out and then make their way into the finals. But it's going to be an uphill climb because Lights Out is no slouch. No matter how far down they are, they're going to come back and they're going to force you to earn it every step of the way. Vandry trying to give Kepworth another one. It will be Vandry that just kind of explodes. He's completely disintegrated and gone and deleted from the play. Vandry again, though, comes back from the dead and forces Shadow to make a nice defensive play from the crossbar. D-Bank to the corner. It's rolling Brown. He's trying to retain possession. Slushy was waiting in the wings and now passes off to Shadow. Gonna try the opposite side to see if they can get upfield. Shadow delaying his approach. He's gonna now get it to AJ, who stalls it out. Slushy to the midfield again. D-Bank. He's gonna wisely try and shadow against this. I guess that forms 2 shadows on the field. Oh, and this one getting climbed under and now flicked over. Lights Out are up by 2.
AJ definitely with a solo play here, reading his opponent perfectly, cutting in right over Shadow, who was flying off the pitch, and that final just flick into the top, beautiful, just beautiful playing from AJ. Top of the line.
Yeah, that was a fantastic individual effort. He was able to get past one and just a nice little like shimmy, swivel, and then just a wonderful like light finesse flick. This one going to crossbar. Kevper with Throwdown is going to get it off to Vandry, but it will be neutralized off back into their corner. AJ and two defenders actually from Lights Out stuck in the same side, and now not a whole lot of boost, but just enough to cut off Shadow, and Slushy with the misapproach. Shadow actually hands it back over to Kevpert, Slushy, and D-Bank, and what a slowdown and what a play! Kevpert and Lights Out going all the way.
This is definitely team plays coming out from Vandry, just playing the ball right back into his man, and Kevpert definitely securing the goal. Maybe not have had to touch that, but securing the goal is something you do want to do in a series that's this fast-paced. So great playing from Lights Out, definitely turning the tide in their favor, and there's just no offensive pressure coming out from Lights Out, them having only a single shot to Lights Out's 9 here, so getting outshot and outplayed with less than half the game to go. Definitely something that you don't want to look at going into a game 5 if you're already up 2-1 in the series.
They've not existed on the offensive side of the ball since game 1, and even then they only had a +2 differential in shooting. And right now, if they're able to hold this and continue what they're doing, up by 3, no doubt we will be seeing a game 5. And Kevpert, he is telling me exactly what I've been talking about. He gets their 4th goal. It is non-stop mayhem for Lights Out, and no helmet. You might want to go find a helmet because that one had to hurt.
Definitely a hit to the noggin right there, as a 4th goal comes in for Lights Out, and a 3rd goal coming in from Kevpert, picking himself up with the hat trick medal. So just playing from Lights Out is definitely on a different pace than No Helmets, unfortunately, for this game. But looking into Game 5, it's kind of the same mentality that Lights Out had coming into this game, which is that no matter how far you go down, there's always a chance to come back and win the series. And with the Game 5 approaching, with under a minute left to go here, you're going to have to power through and make sure that Game 5 is all you got if you want to stay alive in this tournament.
D-Bank with absolutely no boost. That approach there was just him kind of mess with Kevpert and make him, I don't know, come up in the field. They're practicing right now for Game 5. Oh my goodness! And if Lights Out is practicing for Game 5, it is gonna be a doozy for No Helmet to handle. This one, just a nice shot up. I thought this was a dunk by AJ, but he ends up forcing the issue, and a blue defender actually puts it in for him.
I mean, Shadow here definitely trying out his backboard reads onto his own net. Not what you want to be doing, but something you want to practice if you're going into Game 5, as the 5th goal comes in from Lights Out. So, I mean, that's just unfortunate for Shadow. I'm not sure if I don't know what he was doing there, if he meant to put that in or if he was just a misplay on his part.
All right, so we've had 4 games. At this point, whenever you finally get to the last game, full game series, you start to kind of like formulate a meta that goes along these guys. What exactly will be the crux for either team going into this final game of this best of 5 series? What will be the thing they need to look for in each other to take advantage of, or maybe should they just focus, or one thing they can focus on themselves to just win out?
Well, it's definitely offense. Both of these teams being very offensively situated is something that benefits them both in their own ways. With No Helmet, their defensive rotations are extremely poor, but with them being able to keep the ball on the other half of the team, they can just pelter them with shots and never have to play defense in the first place. Lights Out defensive rotations are definitely better, but they're not top tier that we usually see from these communities. Even so, they are playing a bit better defense than No Helmet, so it doesn't come down to who has the better defense. It definitely comes down to who can maintain offense the longest, and the team that can do that is definitely going to win out this match with physical play and kickoff goals.
All right, well, we're going to be heading into Game 5. This is about as good as you could hope for in a semifinal with Lights Out coming in, and so we're going to do our very best, get these guys in here, get them situated, ready to go. This is going to be Lights Out, No Helmet. The winner of this game is the winner of this best of 5 and goes into the Thursday night Throwdown finals. Thank you guys that are joining us right now watching this. Always fun to give you guys this on a bi-weekly basis for the FLG. And now a counterattack by Shadow. Kepper hand it over to AJ. AJ already pre-jumping, waiting on him. He actually drops it over to Vandry. This could make it back center, but no. D-Bank will intercept. AJ beating it past D-Bank. It's going to be Vandry waiting on the far wing. He's going to try and bring it back center. And Kepper with a reapproach, dead middle. AJ again. This has been all control so far And, oh, that one just lofted a little bit too high. And all the plays and all the passes and all the possession by Lights Out just kind of burns out for nothing. 40 seconds, though. They were able to burn the clock. Now in downward dunk is Kepfert. Forces Slushy to roll it back over to D-Bank. D-Bank with the cross touch. He's trying to get in the way of Kepfert again. Who is waiting in the wings. AJ dropping it low. I am surprised there was not a Lights Out member there already waiting to dunk it. Vandry was on the far wall, and it seemed like they had every second available to them to really put that in. Eventually, this is going to break. No helmet. I think they finally found some helmets because they have strapped in for a hardcore long-term defense, and they're lasting for now.
Yeah, but it's not the position they want to be in, especially with their history of defense. With AJ being a complete bully on your defensive line, you don't want to stay in defense too long.
Slushy trying to slow this down from the post. Kepfert harassing him just inside of his own corner. Now in a dangerous position. He had to take it across his own net. And AJ knew exactly how daring of a feat that was. Oh, what a bump! Holy cow, was that Kepfert? He took someone out. Let's take a look at this. Vandry with the shot. It's a nice high loft. Should have been makeable. And AJ comes cruising away and takes D-Bank for a ride. And that one goes to Lights Out. Holy cow. Whew. Now it's going to come out to the midfield. It's going to be Lights Out waiting again. Now no helmet taking a turn. It is very slow off the backboard and not a good situation for Lights Out as no helmet finds the counterattack. D-Bank is able to challenge AJ from his own corner, and it ends up being too slow for them to be able to kick out, and no helmet will take advantage. Tied up 1-1. It's tied 2-2 in the series. We're gonna be tied every which way. And hello, Moonji. I know you had a little internet issue, so welcome back.
Thank you. Not sure what happened. Just everyone started going in circles, and then Discord decided to crash. So,
no,
unfortunately,
that's exactly what happened. That was all the thing. That was the play. Everyone was in circles. I promise.
Really? That's crazy.
I know. It's coincidence, right? All right. So AJ getting challenged there from his own midfield. You missed out on the counterattack by no helmet, but they're now tied 1-1, and it's apparently Lights Out just taking turns, kind of making slight mistakes, but they are having these elongated possessions where these passes are going left, right, and sideways. D-Bank trying to get it back over to Shadow from his own left wall. It's going to be Slushy waiting it out. It's slow again. This one could be the crux for Lights Out. Now Kepfert actually having to move upfield. Now cherry picking. I thought he was going for boost. Yes, he was. He was 0 over to Vandry. What a shot. What a play. Lights Out is back on top.
No contest here from this long pass coming in from Lights Out to their own members. Just no helmet, playing too passively here, not defending their own net, and at the same time not aggressing the ball, which is something you really don't want to do when you're playing defense at this caliber.
He held that on the bottom corner, just like the ball was glued to it. It was just rolling around. And then finally, whenever Kepfert got his nose in to flick it, it just went right around the defender who was otherwise assuming the ball would just stay just cemented to the plane of that low end corner. But then, and that's what set up Vandry with the shot. But now, no helmet has taken their turn, staying in the Lights Out half. They're right now trying to set up their own pass play. There's end up being more corner oriented than midfield pass oriented, and so they're a little bit more predictable, but still very, very fast whenever they pick up the pace. Kepfert now is going to take possession from the high wall. He was going to push it upfield. He's trying to drag himself back to it. Will do so, but D-Bank with a nice read. Vandry to the ceiling, forcing Shadow to come up to it. It will be D-Bank and Shadow. What a pinch. If that was any more to the right, that would have been in because that was a speedy boy. Now Shadow, he has absolutely no boost, has to get it from the corner. AJ's going to try and trickle it down. Shadow comes up behind him, had enough boost to make the challenge. Waiting from his back fender. Slushy from Kepfert. Kepfert is going to just take it to the wall. Gets an extra touch on it. I think AJ was actually one to take the second one that he was not able to get. We are 60 seconds left. No helmet. They're behind by just one. I mean, what a thing to have to do to get past this Lights Out defense that has been revitalized after getting all the way to Game 5.
Yeah, it's definitely completely switched up roles of play here with No Helmet looking not as composed as they were in the second and third games of the series, but lights out, just playing lights out this series, completely destroying their opponents even if they have to go down a few games. This is complete offensive and defensive pressure of the pitch that was lacking in game one. The lights out has completely turned the pitch and able to control the game in the way that they want to, so No Helmet has to get more physical and more into this game if they want to be able to come back in these last 20 seconds.
Yeah, and the clock is not their friend. We're actually about to get to the final 10. Slushy's going to have to do some heroics. Maybe an extra touch. It will be D-Bank with the shot. AJ with probably the series-saving save from in front of his own net, trying to kill it. D-Bank want to keep it alive. He has done so far. It goes to the wall. Shadow to the side wall. AJ lets it die, and Lights Out will be going to the finals.
Stellar play coming up from Lights Out. Definitely dropped 2 games, but looking at their best in games 1, 4, and 5, completely owning the pitch and the amount of space that they have to conduct these one-on-one plays that are absolutely phenomenal. The flicks that we saw from AJ as a solo player, the passes from Kepper to AJ, and Vandrew being an all-around beast, just getting the touches that no one expected him to get. Stellar play coming up from Lights Out, but congratulations to No Helmet as well. They did well, they played well, definitely put up a fight against a team that we've seen win multiple games and multiple tournaments. So Lights Out is a force to be reckoned with, so do not hang your heads low. No Helmet, you definitely did a great job. So great playing from both teams.
Yeah, it was a fantastic showing by No Helmet. Do not feel bad for yourselves because you did great. We're going to take a very brief break as we're going to set up our next semifinal. They've been waiting very patiently. So we'll be right back right after this. welcome back everyone to Frontline Gaming. I'm Hail Monkey Man and I'm joined by Moonji, and we are getting to our second semifinal of the night for our $30 3v3 Thursday night throwdown. It's more than Sylvester the cat can handle before having a seizure, I promise. Alright, so just had a fantastic best of 5 between Lights Out, No Helmet, Lights Out coming out in game 5 and able to win it. I believe it was 2-1 in that final series, and we're already ready to go in game between It Was a Flag and Poggers, which these are some interesting names. I got to throw that out there. That's
Can we get some poggers in the chat for poggers, guys?
Get some pogs in the chat, because I remember pogs being a big thing. Back in my day, you get your slammer, you get your pogger, and then you just kind of. I actually don't know how to play the game. I collected them, and it was fun. But after that, I have no idea what's going on with it. So
that's unfortunate.
So I don't know many of the people that are on these teams, so we're gonna get to learn them intrinsically as we go along. So right now, it's going to be It Was a Flag in orange and Poggers in blue. Spartan, oh, there's a missed touch that ends up being a nice little doink. Harps meeting up with Soccer Sean. Lincoln will press this one back upfield as Silk and Swank try to make a nice rotation. It will be Silk back over to Swank. A little bit of extra push back to the midfield, but Lincoln will give the return. Soccer Sean was talking to us earlier, asking if they were good to go for this match, and we said yes, and they decided to wait for us. We appreciate them the whole way down. It takes a little bit of extra time to be able to get you guys on stream, and we thank you so much that you give us all the patience in the world to do so. Lincoln actually sending that high to the backboard, whereas otherwise he could have maybe forced a speedier shot to the post. They will resume as Spartans and try and get a center. A little bit of a... We always say game 1 in any best of whichever series, 3, 5, 7. It's kind of a feeler game. And right now, there seems to be a lot of kind of melee going on. It's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, I completely agree. It seems to be very back and forth and just long balls being played from both of the teams, as I seem to have a bit of connection issues here. I'm not sure if it's reflected on my voice.
Oh no, you're fine for right now. Or maybe you just cut away, I'm not sure. Either way, Lincoln over Spartan. Lincoln back over, and finally, I'd seen Poggers tease this shot like 3 times before they finally committed to shooting it, and Lincoln ended up taking it by himself over Silk, and Silk was backwards. I think he forgot where the offense comes from.
Yeah, just that passing play is something that's a 1-2 go. You pass back, and then you take the shot. So I don't know why Silk was backwards, but it doesn't matter. The ball still went into his net. Just misplay on his part. Definitely a feeler game 1, but you don't want to just be too eager to drop game 1 in order to feel out your opponent. You definitely want to have that leg up in the series, so something to be taken seriously.
Well, Silk is trying to kind of make up for his transgressions. Maybe he was trying to set up the squishy save before he even needed it. Not sure. But Swank looking to force Soccer Sean to make a play on it. He will steal his boost away and try to at least bait him out to the midfield. Will do so. Tries to neutralize the 50. Silk will be pressing up, and no, it'll be Swank. Let's get the return. Orange, or It Was a Flag. They're having issues on defense. They're starting to bump each other. Not entirely double commits, but definitely crowding the same zone. As the same thing occurs on offense. It's starting to kind of replicate itself across the pitch. You're going to need to find that level of separation so they can get these pass plays going just like Poggers is. Soccer Sean trying to take it from the near side wall over to Spartan. Spartan's going to follow up it again, but Swank will intercept. Lincoln does not get to finish off that play, and Silk barely stops the momentum. Lincoln off to the side. Swank will retain control, and every time they try to dribble it, it looks like Poggers just gets in their face. Not exactly sure. What is the current shooting line between Poggers and Flag right now?
Flag with 2, Poggers with 3. Low shooting game for both teams, but definitely more offensive pressure seems to be coming out from Poggers, not allowing It Was a Flag to develop any type of plays here, just keeping them in their own half and controlling the pitch through offensive means, not necessarily rotation means, as a goal comes in from Spartan.
How did this get here? Soccer Sean, he popped it up, a nice little placement over to Lincoln, and Spartan with just the immediate speedy follow-up. You had 2 defenders. It was poor backboard defense execution. It was dropping low, but you could have had someone going high while one man stayed low. Silk stayed it, and it's always seemed I'm finding a pattern here of Silk and Swank kind of tied at the hip they're going to need to find a little bit of extra surgery to pay for, because they need to separate and find better ways to cover more ground. Spartan's going to take both the boost and the ball and try to set up another center. It'll be Harps now taking possession. He's been a little bit quiet. I've not said his name at least too many different times. Spartan going for an individual shot. Soccer shine over to Lincoln. Lincoln seems to pull back on his shots a little bit. Maybe he's too afraid of maybe the ball will pop if he hits it too hard. I want to see him fully commit to a few of these.
I'm not sure. The first time that he did it, it definitely worked out in his favor. Well, at least the time that resulted in a goal definitely worked in his favor.
Yeah.
He baited the defender out to go in one way and flicked it the other way. So could be a mechanical maneuver in order to trick the defender, but almost an own goal coming out here, and Harp's definitely punishing that as a misplay comes out on the back line from, I believe it was Lincoln, puts it against his own back footer. Just really unfortunate there.
His initial approach looked like he was going to try and pinch it off of his backboard, but then he realized, oh, I'm actually flying past it, but it's going to slow down from my crossbar. Maybe I can still pinch it away or push it away. But yeah, it just turned into a wonderful pass, but to the wrong team, as Harps take advantage and give some kind of hope. As of current, well, that will swiftly go away as I talk about it, as Lincoln extends the lead out by 2.
Yeah, Lincoln, this is just something we see way too often. Players on the defensive back line taking way too much time with the ball and not paying attention to who's pressuring them at one time. So something that you have to be aware of as a player, but on the other hand, it is something that your teammates need to, caution you about if there's a man on, if you have time. Different things like that. These off-the-ball cues that allow us to make the best decisions possible with the amount of information that we're given.
This has been a bit of a messy first game for this new best of 5 in our second semifinal of the night. Thus far, well, Silk wants me to shut my yap and put a little bit of extra pepper on that steak as he just kind of slams the ball in there, 81 miles an hour. It was a mistake by Lincoln to try and take it across his own net. But, I mean, he was kind of in a bad sort. He was the first man to touch it from the Poggers defense and just ends up becoming a nice pass play. 2 goals for It Was a Flag were pass plays from Poggers. Inadvertently, of course. Now,
yeah, it's just weird to see both teams playing the balls in front of their own net instead of, going for a more defensive approach.
Sucker Sean trying to kill it. He will put it to the corner, and then 2 attackers end up just no communication. This was definitely a messy affair, and Poggers come out on top of it in game 1. I'm gonna need to see a little bit of a cleanup on both sides, and definitely on the side of It Was a Flag.
Yeah, definitely on It Was a Flag side. There's a lot of miscommunication. Shots at least going up with, I think they were 3 and 2 last time I checked, and now up to 10 and 6, I believe. So there's a lot more offensive pressure from both teams. Poggers coming out on top. Less mechanical play coming out from Poggers as we see in the points differential, and more just team plays with assists spread across the board versus a clump in It Was a Flag, with Swank coming out as MVP for his team with his other 2 teammates picking up goals. So a lot more separation between the types of plays that we're seeing on Poggers, but It Was a Flag seems to be mostly solo plays.
Well, we're having a lot of fun in the chat there. Poggers is apparently already given a little bit of guff over to Lincoln for nearly putting dunking his own net, but then ultimately giving over to Silk to get a goal. Luckily for them, Poggers did not, come out too worse for wear. A little bit of extra on the scoreline for It Was a Flag, but It Was a Flag is going to be in great need of setting up its own offense, because at this point they've been able to benefit from a lot of mistakes from Poggers. And if either of these teams are going to be able to take it to lights out in the same way that No Helmet did, they're going to need to be on their game. And right now, if I were a betting man, I wouldn't think either of these guys could take it to them. But Swank will take possession. It's going to be Flag trying to get out of their own end. One of these days, I think someone's going to need to explain what the whole It Was a Flag thing is, because that's just confusing. Up to the high corner. It will be Lincoln with the challenge. He's going to neutralize it back down. Silk looks like he's a little bit low on boost. He's going to possibly work out to the corner again, try and take some, and eventually this will break down an error, and Soccer Sean will get the goal.
Too weak of a clear coming from Silk and leaving his last man back kind of in a fluff, I guess, of just mechanical misplays coming out from Swank. But Definitely a misread clear from Silk. Not as hard as he needs to hit it in order to put it away from pressure. And the positioning of the clear was not good either, just playing it right into his opponent's hands. So just playing the ball into places where there's nobody or playing it extremely quickly is something that you're going to have to master if you want to make it to the top tiers of Rocket League.
It was good that Spartan was able to follow up immediately behind that demo, because otherwise they would have had a center coming up. Now Soccer Sean looking for another clear. Harps with the challenge. They will deliver it into the waiting hands of Lincoln. Lincoln bumping away Soccer Sean. Now Spartan left in an awkward shot, but Harps inaccuracy reigns, and Lincoln with a nice last minute save, and now what a clear, but it is still coming from the corner. Swank just trying to keep the play alive, as that was a wonderful effort by It Was a Flag, but it ultimately just kind of leads to nothing. Now they're right back into the blue half. Silk lining up to the backboard. Soccer Sean trying to get the clear, but it's going to come right back out. Swank and Harps. There has got to be some miscommunication issues going on between these guys. They're getting too antsy and jumping over one another. Whenever I play like that, I like to call it totem pulling, because it's just one face on top of another face on top of another face, and you think, oh hey, he's not going to get the ball in this like kind of vertical lift, but you got to have a little bit more trust in your teammate to do so. And hello, Elixir. Anyway, from their own side, it was a flag. Another shot going to the crossbar. Harps with a wonderful save. Sucker Sean already going for a shot. It's going to come out midfield, and another goal will go in for Poggers.
Yeah, offensive pressure here is something that Poggers has been keeping up with. It Was a Flag's defense not really challenging the ball as quickly as they need to be, or not clearing it as hard. So Poggers with the control of the pitch is definitely what's allowing them to come out on top and be able to put so many shots in versus their opponent.
All right, so we're watching these guys at this point. But obviously, we got more play time. And Silk, of course, doesn't want me to say what I'm about to say. But if you're looking at Poggers, and if they were to win out in this series against It Was a Flag, do you think that they have as good of a chance as No Helmet to be able to take it to Lights Out in the finals?
I think with the difference of speed of the games, it's definitely going to be a no-brainer for Lights Out to take the series. Even with It Was a Flag winning the series, if the series doesn't pick up in pace, just the amount of clears and the pace of the game in general is very slow compared to last games, with the amount of boomers that we had back and forth and people playing the ball extremely quickly. So they're going to definitely get outpaced, and if they don't adapt to it extremely quickly, then they'll definitely go down with a sweep from Lights Out.
Going out to midfield again is Swank. Take it away from Silk. Flag is just looking for an instance where they will be able to take the lead. Soccer Sean immediately booping this one. Nearly, I would think that would pop out as the demo, but Harps will be able to get it clear. Him and Spartan, 15 back to the ceiling, and Spartan cannot win it away from Swank. Swank a little bit late to the party, but we'll get the touch first. Lincoln is gonna let Flag take it, but he's just going to steal it right back away. Harps trying to go for an extra touch here. I thought he was going to go for a flip reset, touch his tires right off the ball, but Poggers is starting to allow this ball to rest inside their own half a lot more, and that could cause issues. But to the chagrin of It Was a Flag, they are their own worst enemy, as they just get in each other's way. Team bumps against one another. Lincoln is going to get a free low, but no. Swank with a wonderful predicted air roll. And now this shot rolling in. It's going to be Soccer Sean. It's nice and slow and floaty. Give him plenty of time to work his way back to it. Silk has absolutely no boost as he went to the attack. No avail. 60 seconds left. What does Flag have to do to finally tie this up and maybe win in regulation?
They have to pick up the pace of their game. They're not passing to each other in the midfield or in the outfield. Their defensive clears are extremely weak, and they're not finding men in the half. They're just kind of booming it, like closing their eyes and saying, where can we clear this ball in order for no one to be there? But with you having less men in the other half of the field and the other team having at least one or two people on their back line, they're going to be picking up all of your clears and putting the offensive pressure right back on where it started.
Well, Harps had to opt out for boost into the far corner to try and extend his presence in the Poggers half. There was a nice passing play that had been forming to each other, but it was very micromanaged, and they were not able to kind of space themselves out. Looks like Poggers, as long as they can keep up this pressure, will be able to take it. Swank getting intercepted. Link maybe able to get an extra goal. This one's still alive. They're going to kill it. Soccer Sean gonna let it die. And now Poggers up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, that's just offensive pressure coming to its works with them outshooting their opponent and just staying completely engaged in the pitch. But the misplays happening between Silk and Swank on the defensive line, those are that's definitely a big problem that's allowing Poggers to have so many easy shots and goals that should, in a normal situation, be cleared out easily or defended away with no regard to what happens. But it was a flag, definitely having some defensive misplays on their back line, which is causing a lot of problems for them. So cleaning up the communication is definitely something they could look at in order to stop what's happening right then and there.
Most definitely. Well, at this point, it's going to take a reverse sweep for it was a flag. Poggers, generally in this situation, we see teams do one of two things whenever they're up 2-0 in a best of 5. They either A, are going to take it casual, and it's going to take a little bit for them to kind of get their offense going, but that's not going to ever feel any modes of panic. And they may make a few mistakes and may even drop this game. Or go the complete opposite direction, and they're just going to start laying on the hurt with a ton of shots and a ton of goals. That doesn't seem to be the way it's going to go, as mistakes will reign. This pops to the ceiling, and it was a flag will score first.
Yep, Spartan coming off his back line in order to make the read off of the ceiling is definitely something you don't want to do unless you know exactly where that ball is going for. So the misplay off of his back line is what's going to allow the push up from his teammates, which in turn just leaves a wide open net for Silk to go ahead and Harps to go ahead and score on, which is a player who's been pretty quiet for this series. I haven't really seen him develop into anything more than a third man on the rotation. So it's good to see him pick up a goal and put himself on the leaderboard.
Man, that one nearly going in from the crossbar. And again, actually looking into the chat, thank you so much, Indie Gaming, for your 19-person raid. You guys very much help us out, and we have a ton of stuff to send you with all this Rocket League business going down. We are in the middle of our second semifinal for our bi-weekly Thursday night Throwdown tournament. We'll be heading towards the finals, where Lights Out is waiting for the winner of this matchup to face off against them. A nice little $30 prize to maybe warm themselves up in the frigidness of this cold winter. Weirdly enough, it actually got up to like 50 degrees today, whereas I had a friend that's like, it's like -1 for them, and they're maybe like 100 miles north. Just crazy stuff going on. Oh.
That's insane.
I know, just climate change. It's everywhere. It's nuts. But it's rain, it's snow, it's ice, and it's just too darn chilly, as they're now getting cold over here. Poggers on top of it was a flag.
Spartan with the half rotation, which in this case actually works out for him, cutting in and taking the perfect shot on the goal with no men being back. I guess they expected Spartan to fully commit to the rotation back, and that would have allowed for some offensive pressure to come out from it was a flag. But with Spartan being the beast of he is, recognizing the potential play here from a half rotation, decides to opt in for the challenge and secures the goal for his team.
Silk trying to get bit of a clear, but he's going to have to give it over to Swank because he only had about 9 boosts to try and make the challenge. And this is going to give plenty of spacing opportunity to Poggers to take up room, but no, Harps with an individual effort to place it all the way upfield. I'm wondering why Swank actually didn't try to pressure it from the midfield at that point, but Silk was given the ball. Now Lincoln, I keep just calling him Link. I love Legend of Zelda, so I guess Link is just on the mind. But Silk can try and pressure against Lincoln to force him to make a play from the corner. Instead, it will be Swank from his own net. Soccer Sean, dead center. And we're tied at 1. This will be some of the more make or break moments. We are nearing halftime of game number 3, where Poggers is threatening to sweep. It was a flag out of this tournament. So it was a flag is just every step of the way trying to make sure that they have another chance. They're going to have to reverse sweep to get to the finals. Poggers has taken their sweet time. It's Lincoln. It's another clear. He's going to let Harps take a little bit of extra jump ahead of him. Soccer Sean with a nice clear. It's going to be Silk in the midfield. Another shot coming in from Spartan. It goes wide. Silk there with the return. It gets challenged. Soccer Sean had already committed up with Lincoln, so he will not be able to shoot from the midfield, but it's Spartan trying to set up yet another shooting lane. We have all 3 members stuck in front of the net. Soccer Sean again, it's going to the backboard. Harps is going to throw it down to Lincoln. What a pass, but Soccer Sean and most of the members of Poggers, that's going to the retreat, trying to steal some boost. Silk will take it on his own. All right, we're tied 1-1. What's your mentality if you're one of these teams? You're put yourself in the shoes of Poggers. How do you put this away against It Was a Flag?
For Poggers right now, it actually seems to be the opposite of what we think they should go for. Definitely want to play it safe. If you're past halftime and you're not, completely dominating the pitch in your third game for a sweep, definitely play it more conservative, because when a team like it's the position that It Was a Flag is in, it's definitely worse than what Poggers is in. So It Was a Flag is going to be a much faster pace in order to, kind of rise up and be able to give themselves an opportunity. But if you are Poggers, you definitely want to play the game a bit slower in order to frustrate your opponent and have them make mistakes early to capitalize on those.
Oh, and now they will start to put on the hurt in the final seconds or final minute of play. Silk was trying to pass it over to Harp. Soccer Sean gets right between them, and just before Harps is able to make a play on it, he will take advantage of an open back net. This one is starting to become bleak for It Was a Flag. Now Poggers up by 1. Soccer Sean is going to win it from the kickoff. He will continue to press. They will continue to do so as Harps roll backwards. He puts it up looking for a dunk. It will come, but a little bit later as Soccer Sean now extends the lead out by 2. This one could be a little bit too late for It Was a Flag.
Yeah, just another misplay between Silk and Harps. Exactly what I was talking about between matches. The misplays coming out on defense from miscommunication of same team bumps are just a complete killer at this level of play, because as we've stated multiple times tonight, one mistake can completely kill your game and momentum. So you definitely want to look at closing those gaps, but time has not completely run out here for It Was a Flag, with them putting in another goal with 30 seconds left to go.
Man, Harps, he saw everyone commit to this, and there was 2 players from Poggers trying to do a squishy save from interior net going out to the top post, or a crossbar rather. And yeah, a little under 30 seconds. There is still time, but this is going to be some of the best Rocket League that they will ever play from It Was a Flag in order to make this work. Oh, the post being able to give them a little bit of extra luck. Lincoln trying to pass it out to the midfield. It will be Swank. Now they're playing 2 back, 1 forward just to get that harass going. Lincoln and Soccer Sean will take residence in the net, but oh my goodness, they will tie it up at 3 with only 2 seconds left.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands with Silk putting in a goal to tie up the series. 2 seconds left. We're going into overtime most likely here. And with Poggers having complete control of this pitch, this has to be demoralizing for them to go into overtime against a team that they completely had in the bag.
All right, these generally end either really fast in about 7 seconds, or they go for the distance. Lincoln going for the ender. No, it will not end soon. So, Poggers, they are trying to end this in a sweep. The entire series is theirs for the taking. It Was a Flag is literally on life support. This is their final chance in OT. They win it here, they get to go to game 4. Lose, they're done, and it will be Poggers versus Lights Out. Silk to the far side corner. Harps and Silk, they need to find some separation, and Silk does so in the way between 2 blue defenders. Swank getting deleted from the upper half of Poggers' pitch. Now Harps trying to make an individual effort out of this. It will be Lincoln pushing upfield. Spartan denied the pass. The back pass from Swank. Now Harps coming in. It's going to be Poggers trying to push back upfield. Spartan getting rid of Silk. There's only 1 defender to beat, as Harps is going to get the clear. Now Soccer Sean quickly turning around, but it's going to go back over to Swank. It's going to go wide as Spartan keeps it back into the middle blue paint. They are desperately looking for some kind of shooting lane to come out to the middle. Harps back over. No, it's going to be Spartan. He's going to win it out. He's going to bowl it in. All the pins will drop, and it will be Poggers going to the finals to meet up with Lights Out.
And this is exactly what happens. As we were saying before, one mistake can cost you the entire tournament, with a misplay coming out from Harp on the top part of the pitch. Both of his teammates on the rotate back, expecting him to hit that ball. So unfortunate for It Was a Flag, but great playing from them and Poggers. Unfortunate sweep, but they definitely show that they are a force to be reckoned with. But Poggers coming out on top, out shooting their opponents in every game, every match, taking it to the final and just shutting them down in overtime. killing their glimpse of hope. It's unfortunate for it was a flag, but Poggers definitely showing some dominance on the pitch. What do you think, Monkey Man? Do you think that Poggers, after this performance, actually has a chance against the team that they'll be playing next?
You know what? I think both these teams got a good chance. If there's ever a team, if there's ever a Twitch meme to bring in, it's going to be Poggers. You know what? Lights out. They've got the shooting. They've got the class. They've got the pedigree. But Poggers, they've got the momentum. So we want to get you guys to the finals as fast as possible. Give us just a brief moment. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back, and it's going to be FLG finals time for the Thursday night throwdown. Be right back. Oh, he actually bumped him! And Bantho will get the goal. Will be eliminated, and a flip reset to finish it off. Situation, Andy going for the double touch. He will get it, and Andy will get the hat trick. 20 shots in y'all's match. Oh, what a kicker. However, oh, a delay, and Kryptide will get the game winner. Backboard Toast will go for the dunk, and he will get it. Bandits will win. Time, maybe a little bit more. And Bags, GG, wings up. Welcome back, everyone. This is Frontline Gaming. I'm Hail Monkey Man, and I'm joined by Moonji, and we are in the finals for this week's $30 3v3 Thursday Night Throwdown. We do this on a bi-weekly basis, so if you missed it this week, maybe you got defeated, don't worry, it comes back every 2 weeks. So we're good to go. If you just saw the trailer just a few moments ago, that is for our Season 3 Amateur Draft Series. There's been a bunch of information posted about it in the Discord and in the chat. If you need to know anything more about it, please refer to our admins. Please refer to our Discord announcements. But that's not why we're here tonight. You know what? Right now, in this exact moment, we're here for some finals. I don't know how hype you are, Moonji, but this one I think is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see both of these teams come out in their top forms and to play till the end. And is this a best of 5 or best of 7?
It is a best of 5. We stay best of 5 because best of 7s get ridiculous. So best of 7s we keep for our playoffs whenever those happen in season play. So don't worry, still best of 5.
Okay, just making sure. So definitely going to be stellar play coming out from both teams here, as we saw Poggers and Lights Out in different situations, but overall coming to the finals as Poggers swept their last opponents and Lights Out getting a 3-2 victory, I believe it was. And just both teams have very different play styles. Lights Out playing a bit faster, but Poggers definitely having some offensive talent on their side. So I'm excited to see how those two clash against each other, and overall who's going to be the winner of tonight's 3v3 Thursday Night Throwdown.
Well, it's time to figure it out. It's going to be behoo of Poggers to put Lights Out on their back foot, or else Lights Out is going to be very hard to stop. We saw No Helmet able to do it for 2 games in a row before ultimately getting into a dramatic and climactic Game 5 in our first semifinal of the night. But Lights Out obviously came out of that. As you can tell, they are in the finals now. So it's AJ taking possession, open back net, but Lincoln very, very calm, very, very collected. If I were facing down Lights Out in the field, I wouldn't be as just cool as a cucumber as Lincoln was in that moment as AJ was racing towards the net to slam it at him. But Soccer Sean trying to give it to Lincoln, and oh my goodness! What a redirect pass, and what a shot that was!
That's a beautiful shot coming on. The pass off the ceiling from Sean catches both defenders off guard, and an open net allows Lincoln to put it past the 2 defenders right into the back of the net. What a play from him, just coming out and scoring what he knows he can do. Poggers showing some professionalism out there on the pitch, allowing themselves to become part of the game. I thought that they would be scared of this Lights Out offense, but they don't seem to let that stop them as they pelter a shot into the back of the net.
Oh my goodness, Lights Out, they better have been waiting and warming up, because Poggers, they have not stopped with this momentum. Now Vandry is going to put it to the high backboard, but Lincoln with good backboard defense. We didn't see a whole lot of that from their opponent, and they've been able to not have that bad habit wreck onto them. Kevpert to the high corner. It's going to slowly roll out to the opposite end, and AJ will be waiting in the wings. Spartan slowing it down and having to 50 it back. Vandry on the back line for lights out. Oh, and a misplay. This one will end up going in. He knew it, and he was in the midfield, and he already knew that was a bad mistake.
Yeah, mistakes at this level of play are definitely going to get punished, especially if it's one where you're the last man back. Lincoln keeping calm and composed as he did with the last play with AJ and just securing a goal for his team, putting them up 2-0 with 3 minutes and 45 left to go. How do you think that this Poggers team is able to just break down all of the mistakes that Lights Out are, continuously having in these first minute and a half of our game?
I mean, I think Lights Out, maybe they weren't able to completely keep warm, but I think Poggers was taking a lot of what they learned from It Was a Flag. Now, obviously, not the exact same team when it comes to them and Lights Out, but when you kind of analyze the amount of mistakes that you saw from their defense, they're looking for the exact same creases, exact same cracks, and if they can't find them, they're going to create them, and this pressure right now is starting to work out for them from the backboard. It's going to be AJ, and Spartan went a little bit too high, thinking the shot was going to come in. He just bowls it right under.
Yeah, the backboard play is definitely lacking from Poggers in this regard, as all three players get completely thrown off by that high shot and not reading it properly. But they definitely do have a cushion to lay off of after Lincoln hitting about 400 points here, the highest scoring player on the pitch. He's securing this game for his team, allowing them to be able to make mistakes but still not have everything thrown out the window in terms of what they can do to stay alive.
AJ was trying to make something out of nothing. Kepler couldn't exactly retain the ball. Vandry is going to push it upfield. A nice counter play. Lights Out trying to do the exact same thing they can, but Lincoln will actually get in the way of AJ. Now Spartan moves it past. Will get it into the Lights Out side of the field, but Lights Out is starting to smother Poggers on their own half of the pitch. All three members actually have formed a wall, a wing, a triangle of whatever form inside of their own net. I think they're all very low on boost, and I guess they're going to huddle together for safety. Vandry, oh my goodness, Lincoln throwing his hat right in the way of Vandry as he came in for another shot. AJ working into the far corner. It's a slow-mo, and Lincoln with a last-minute save. Kepler tried to put it under him, but they cannot do it again. That one was the exact same play that AJ had done, but a little bit off to the left instead of dead center. Kepler with the pass to AJ. It's going to get intercepted again. Spartan is going to roll back for what boost might remain, and it is just, okay, this is like predatory versus prey right now, because Poggers has just been stuck in the nest of their own net and finally find a counterattack, and that one was a missed shot on the second touch. And Lights Out, they have played as sharks surrounding this school of minnows is Poggers. Poggers still being on top, but it's become very, very lethal as a shot's coming in, and an open net is apparent, and now they're back to tied at 2-2.
Yeah, Poggers being stuck in their own half is definitely something they did not want to be in the position of. And when they finally broke out of it, unfortunately, they had the overcommit syndrome, where once you've been pelted into your back of the net, when you finally get a breakthrough, you send everyone up, but that leaves your backfield open and allows for a silly goal like Keppert's to fly in. Definitely asserting himself on the pitch, finally making those 4 shots come to use, but tied up game here with, a little bit, we're almost to 1 minute left in the game, so it's definitely anyone's game, with Poggers surprising me and actually keeping up with the amount of speed that's coming out from this Lights Out offense.
If they could kind of floor us all by taking game 1, that would set such a good just kind of tone for the rest of this series. That would put Lights Out into even greater respect of their play, which I think at this point Lights Out is respecting them every bit that they can, because they've had to fully take over their half. Kepler putting this back down to the ground. It's going to be Spartan with the curl out from his own corner, but AJ is immediately there. He is just completely boostless until this exact moment. Kepler now to the backboard. It's AJ looking for the dunk. He pushes out to Vandry instead. 1-1-2-3 play. Vandry will put them in the lead.
What a beautiful play from Lights Out. The 1-2-3 play completely crossing the pitch and allowing them to finally capitalize on the goal. I think that was a bit of a misplay on the defender to put into the back of his net, but it was a beautiful play from Lights Out. Just a 1-2-3 play, stellar Rocket League there from all 3 players.
I thought that AJ had been hanging out on that backboard to try and get some kind of dunk going, which maybe he would have been able to do, but instead he saw that there was too many defenders underneath him, opted out, kicked it over to Vandry, who was screaming in from the right side of the pitch, and it was just a free low goal. And Nice save by Lincoln. Soccer Sean's gonna have to make a play. Kepper making him look silly as Vandry kicks it over. And they have not let Poggers leave their half of the pitch for the past 2 minutes. All the goals that Poggers got were in the very early setting. Lincoln with a save, and it will go and remain high. They're trying to keep it alive, but you know what? Why not go for the kill shot instead?
Yeah, that's just stellar play from Lights Out here, completely owning the pitch in the second half of this game and asserting their dominance. And I just love seeing both of these teams combined, but unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to sign out here as it is reaching 11 o'clock hour. I would love to stay, but I have other priorities to get to. But I really enjoyed casting with you, Monkey Man, and I really hope that this series comes out to be one of the stellar ones that everyone is a big fan of.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for being with us. And of course, everyone in the chat, please, round of applause for Moonji. He did a fantastic job. I want to thank him for being with us. And of course, he'll be with us in future endeavors. But you know what? For right now, you got me, and we still got a series to go with. So we're going to get to it. And hopefully I think we got Moonji for a few different seasonal matches as well going into our draft series. So don't miss him too much. He will be back. I promise. No. As much as I can promise for someone else's livelihood, you know, all that.
I will be back. I do have a great commitment to this community, and I'm really glad that you guys do enjoy my casting. So I will be making an appearance again. So thank you guys for all of the support and things, and I really hope this series turns out to be a stellar one.
No, thank you so much. Have a great night, man.
You too.
All right, well, we got more finals play ahead. Lights Out taking game number 1 in earnest after they were able to just control the pitch. Poggers, they came out swinging. They were able to just push it step by step, play by play, and in the end, it was them at the end of the day that took it. But right now, we're in game number 2. So, Kepfert going for an easy roll. It's going to be over to AJ. It's going to be Lincoln and Soccer Sean. They're trying not to repeat the demons of their past, and now they finally get to implore some pressure against this Lights Out team. Spartan, rather. Intercepting Kepfert, and AJ now trying to take it from his own corner. Spartan has absolutely no boost and has extended his stay in the Lights Out half for probably a little bit too long. But now Lincoln applying some pressure, and a nice no-touch. Soccer Sean trying to make up for it by getting to the backside of it. It will be a pinch back in the return. Kepfert floating away with it. Spartan over to the far left side. Vandry, who is responsible for quite a few ending goals. He's getting the pass again from Kepfert. It goes back center. A little bit of an off touch. AJ was hoping for a little bit more pepper on that, but it did not come through. Spartan. It is still 0-0. A minute has bled dry from the clock. AJ's kind of chasing after Kepfert to try and give him the ball, and Lincoln waiting patiently. Vandry realizing he will not be able to gain possession of him until this exact moment. It goes over to Kepfert. An open net. Can't catch up to it. It will be a Lights Out that starts off first. Vandry. This is a nice shot. Realize an over-rotation forward from Soccer Sean. It could have been passed over to Kepfert as well, but Kepfert didn't need to do much more with it than what it already was. Soccer Sean still in the early kickoff phase. Kepfert going for a redirect doink. A little bit off. AJ, a nice high pop. Gonna work into that kind of corner pillar play. Vandry ends up backwards, no momentum to his number. And he'll have to let Kepfert take control of it from his own half. Vandry, I guess a calculated back pass over to AJ as AJ will now start walking it upfield. Vandry with a good clear. Kepfert in rotation backwards. One after the other. Lights Out still controlling this field both through the rotations and through these offensive pass plays and of course through demos. If your opponent doesn't exist, then they can't really threaten you, can they? Oh, this one to the high corner. Oh, it does roll away. A misread from the low side. Two defenders from Lights Out able to make it work. A nice body doink. Soccer Sean just wanting to give his team some whereabouts, and oh, it will be an own goal as Lincoln will tie this up. This went a little bit high. It was coming down low, and they were just waiting from that top backboard. He put it between both Vandry and AJ as Vandry was waiting on the backboard, kind of shuffling back and forth to seeing if it would eventually be high enough for him to challenge for. But he put it right at the post and right between And that created some confusion. The defense of Lights Out ended up turning out the lights on themselves. Now AJ over to Vandry. Oh, and what a body block! Calculated or not, Vandry will get that goal. Started this off, it ends up going over to AJ. AJ passes it middle, and then a little bit of extra push. Keeps his car dead center, and he dunks it in. That tie immediately bleeds over into a lead as we go past halftime, and Lights Out is currently leading the way. Nice save by Soccer Sean. Keppert's going to slow it down. Vandry's going to try and knock it off to the side and give AJ another chance at it. Soccer Sean neutralizes that 50. It'll be Spartan to Lincoln. Lincoln upfield. Goes to the near side wall with a no touch. An easy mid pass though, and it was a shot that went to Kepper, and Kepper was already in a great position. Oh, and beating out two defenders. AJ will give an extended lead to Lights Out. This was a wonderful pass by Vandry to AJ, and he takes the wide angle versus the narrow attempt by both defenders who went dead center. Just kind of squeaks it around them, getting that finesse play, knowing exactly where he needs to be for a proper challenge and a proper win. AJ just has to give it to Vandry. What a last second save by Lincoln. Soccer Sean went a little bit too long. He has absolutely no boost to his name. This one to go the front face of the crossbar. Lincoln pops it past two. Kepert unable to make a grab, but Vandry, very reliable player in terms of being able to get your possession whenever both of your defenders are gone. Kepert getting beat. It will be stalled. Soccer Sean's trying to go for the wide angle play. He's going to slow it down, going ceiling. Spartan. He saw Kepert coming on down. Can't stop it now. AJ looking for Kepert. Kepert with a back pass over to AJ. Goes wide of him, but Soccer Sean back to, I believe, Lincoln. Dished it upfield. There's a little bit of timidity and a little bit of apprehension by Poggers when we need to see a lot more just volatile play out of them. They need to be there in a hurry. They need to be as ferocious and pressuring as they were in game number one. This game number two has definitely gone the way of Lights Out. They still have a 2-goal lead, and it is breakneck speed for Lights Out's offense every single step. Poggers defense cannot get it clear. They can't even pay for one at this point, except for now Spartan. He's got to chase it. He has no boost, and AJ just baiting him as far upfield as possible until the very last second where he can take both his home corner boost and the ball. Oh, Kepert to Vandry. That would have been one of the fastest counter plays I'd ever seen if they've been able to get that dead center on net. For right now, Lights Out controlling it all the way to the timer. A demo on Kepert, maybe out of frustration or not. Lincoln not able to bowl it in. He may have been able to do so if he had popped it up. Poggers will be down by 2. And Lights Out looking to go into game 3 for a possible sweep. Again, I want to thank everyone that's been able to join us for the night. This is FLG's Thursday night Throwdown. We do this on a bi-weekly basis. If you want to get in on this, and maybe you didn't exactly succeed this time, or didn't get to even see it, do it, whichever it may be, we do this every 2 weeks. So signups are on Smash GG, but you also find them through us. We advertise as much as we can through Reddit, Rocket League clashes, but also directly in our Discord, which you might as well come in, stay around a little while. Form some kinships and some bonds, some fun friendships in time. But right now, Poggers is about out of time as Lights Out is ready to just completely end this. Looking for the sweep. We have 5 minutes left for them to figure it out. That's not enough time, I don't believe, for Poggers, because they want to be able to extend their tournament stay. It's going to be very tough. Kepper with the pass over to Vandry. These midfield passes are always on point. Every single attempt towards the Poggers net. Calculated, cool, calm, with every sense of poise that you expect from Lights Out. Good pressure now on the return from Poggers, but short-lived. Vandry over to Kepper. Lincoln with the interception. Spartan. Kind of a miscue. He plays it up to AJ. Kepper looking for the redirect, doink dead center. AJ trying to do the same thing. He goes up to ceiling. He clears out the 2 remaining defenders. Kemper trying to flick it in. And Vandry is not there fast enough. Poggers remain clean up to this point. Will now be lights out. Oh, this one could be a misplay. Spartan, he's going to have to lead it backwards because he was ready to retreat and get back onto defense. Another play upfield, and Spartan deleting Vandry, who gets bumped again. Soccer Sean, it gets taken away by Spartan. It may have been an all-for-naught play in the long run anyway. Spartan going for a double touch. He runs out completely of boost. He will take it from the corner, and you are starting to see lights out just for the hair width of a moment on their back heel, but didn't matter as Vandry got him on the counterattack. AJ with that wonderful clear. He was able to sight his teammate out in the midfield, and with a heads-up play by Vandry, Vandry will get the goal just a minute and a half or more into game number 3. Every goal that Poggers lets in at this point is just putting another nail in their own coffin. They're going to need to work that much faster, that much harder to apply the pressure to stop this. Kemper going for a doink. It will be served over from Vandry. Back to Kemper, back to Vandry. A little bit of a passing practice session. Kemper passing in and going against Soccer Sean. It's going to be Vandry with the challenge on Spartan. Soccer Sean deleting Vandry, making sure that he can't hurt them no more. Kemper letting Vandry go again. AJ's going to be rolling back onto defense. He's going to probably be waiting on this one. No, it'll be Kemper who has to jump over a defender. Now get the clear. It's going to work up to Vandry. AJ is kind of ghosting somewhere. Doesn't even have to be part of this 2-man full commit. He's just taking every bit of boost he can, and now appears out of nowhere and will get a second goal for lights out. We were talking about Kemper, we were talking about Vandry, and AJ said, hey man, I haven't heard my name in at least the past 30 seconds to a minute. It's time to show up, show out, and shoot him down. 2 goals in, 2:16 remaining. Poggers is going to need to pull out something fierce. This one, well, this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it, as Kemper will give lights out a now 3-goal lead in game number 3, looking to go up and out with a 3-0 sweep. Poggers, you got to stop the bleeding. You got to tourniquet it. You got to get rid of what's not working. This one, pinch right from the kickoff. Lincoln. Serve it over. It's going to go high and drop fast. He's going to let Soccer Sean play with it. AJ over to Kemper. Kemper looking for the dunk. It goes to the crossbar. Shot coming in. Crossbar denied twice. AJ trying to do the same thing. They're doing, how many times will it hit the backboard before a hole is going to form in it? I don't know. That's some good structural integrity on these Psionics fields. They know how to build them. Now Lincoln for the long haul. Soccer Sean waiting on the cherry pick. They saw him. AJ yeah, I believe it was AJ. They were just taken away. What a save by Lincoln. And ends up, it doesn't matter. He delayed the inevitable. Now up by 4. What a play. Lincoln was able to stall it out. He was trying to get it to the front face of the backboard. But it ends up just hitting his own crossbar. It came down much faster and ended up just being a centered ball. Less than a minute and a half. And lights out just looking too darn strong. Their greatest opponent in this tournament today was No Helmet. And No Helmet had every tool in their repertoire to be able to take them down. And in game 5, Lights Out was able to outlast No Helmet. AJ now gonna bunny hop backwards. Vandry will get the clear from this corner. Spartan, 60 seconds left. Going for a blind boost, blind demo rather. Soccer Sean over to Spartan. Spartan trying to give it back to Soccer Sean. They don't want to go out with a goose egg. They want to be able to get a little spaghetti noodle on the scoreboard. Right now, Kemper dishing it back up to Vandry. They do not care how big this score is going to get. They're going to make it as intense and as big as possible. As and as cute as they want it to be, level of skill that they've been able to show today and what they've been able to show for every single one of our tournaments, they've done a fantastic job. So has everyone been able to participate in our FLG TNTs. Vandry going for a shot. It will actually be a pass over to Kepper. Kepper not there in time. Spartan trying to get it clear. He gets knocked over. Lincoln to Spartan. Denied by Vandry. Sagar Sean. It's the last great attempt the Poggers can do. Spartan has gone turtle up. And Vandry, AJ, and Kepper will be tonight's Thursday night Throwdown FLG champions. Congratulations to them. And Jess, exactly what Lincoln said. You did try, and a commendable effort. They are not an easy team to get past, to play against. Congratulations to Lights Out. And again, congrats to Poggers for taking out. It was a flag. They were able to get all the way to this moment. Absolutely no negativity with them. They did fantastic. But it will be Lights Out that wins the night. And this will be what rounds out the night for Frontline Gaming. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys are fantastic. I want to thank you for always coming to join us every other, because on a bi-weekly schedule, Thursday night with us at 8 o'clock. And we will be doing this again in 2 more weeks. If I can do math correctly, I think that'll be like the 7th of February. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If it's not, then you know, whichever. But if you want to know more, if you want to be intrinsically entrenched into what we do with Frontline Gaming, go to the Discord. It's down below. Hit that button and you can link with us. Again, you stuck with us for the long haul for the night. Lots of cool semis, lots of cool finals. I'm Hail Monkey Man. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us. And I really hope that you come see us again. This is Frontline Gaming. Stay warm. It's cold out there. Or it's hot when it's raining. I don't know. Weather, am I right? Be safe. Don't text and drive. Love each other. And you know what? Tomorrow, it's Friday. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.